So no payments had at this stage been made to Lockheed?
A small payment was made as part of the offer definition and improvement activity to fund some of Lockheed's costs and some facility-related activity for a venue for us to conduct that work in.
And are there any payments to be made to Lockheed as a result of the cancellation?
No, there are no extant contracts in place with Lockheed.
Have Lockheed indicated, or do you have any awareness of what it may have cost them?
I understand that Lockheed Martin has made a considerable investment as part of this activity. I think it would be up to them to articulate how much that would be.
What about the various SMEs in the various media? It talks about Innovor Technologies, EM Solutions, AVCom, Linfox, Scholl Group, Ronson Gears, Caltrex Technologies, Conchia, Clearbox Systems, DXE, Blackstree, a range of Australian SMEs who've invested, I imagine, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands in the work they have done to date. How is this building and supporting Australian industry capability if things are going to be curtailed at such short notice? And speaking of notice, can somebody tell me, please, how did the media get hold of this information if Lockheed Martin weren't told until Monday morning? Who from the DPM's office, if he only communicated to Defence on Monday morning, Minister, who from the DPM's office leaked this to the media?
Well, I don't believe that the decision was communicated to Defence on Monday morning. I may be wrong, but the Secretary can assist.
No, Mr Miles' decision was communicated to the department last week, Senator.
Then how did the media get it, Mr Moriarty, between last week and Lockheed Martin being told on Monday morning?
Must have leaked out of Defence. Your department.
Will you be conducting an internal inquiry to find out how that leaked from Defence to Lockheed Martin? Sorry, leaked to the media?
Yes, Senator. There is. We make inquiries whenever there's an unauthorised disclosure, whether it came from any number of potential sources, but we within the department.
A very limited number of sources, given the timing.
Just order.
It's just they're in an awkwardly senior places, aren't they?
Thank you.
That's why you haven't started a search yet. They're all in senior places.
Senator Shoebridge, the Secretary is responding to Senator Fawcett. Secretary, you have the call?
That's why they're leaking.
Okay, thank you. Now, Secretary, you've got the call. So, Senator Birmingham has one question. Now I've got to move the call around. So, do you want to just wrap up your answer?
Chair, there was a question before the leak one, and that was: do you have any assessment of the amount of money that Australian SMEs have now lost, having been announced as a preferred tenderer, having all the indications until only a couple of months ago this was a priority investment? Because I can point to examples in the past, land projects where preferred tenderers were announced, SMEs invested and then went bankrupt when the project was subsequently de-scoped, let alone the whole tender process scrapped.
Senator, I'm aware of the 12 companies that would have been subcontractors to Lockheed Martin. There was no contracts established, I believe, with Lockheed Martin and those companies. I am very aware of the impact on small to medium enterprise of these cancellations, but we have not quantified what that amount of money or impact would be to industry.
And General Coyle, if I can just briefly come back to you to clarify, you've said that you are looking for an investment perhaps in the very short term, a couple of years, around other satellite solutions, but evidence I think was also provided earlier that, like the US, multi-orbit means that geostationary is still part of that solution. So are you saying that the intention of Defence is not just to work with the Starlinks of others of the world of their low Earth orbit options, but to look at a contract for another geostationary satellite or number of geostationary satellites?
Senator, will be commence undertaking those engagements with other allies, partners, industry in the coming months. It would be preemptive of me to give you an outline of what systems or who owns them at this point in time, but we'll be coming back to government with an update next year.
But the whole rationale of this project that's been provided to the committee over some time now is that there is not capacity, nor is there the certainty of resilience if the owners of assets had higher priorities. Let's just imagine, for example, a conflict in Northern Europe, a conflict in the Middle East and a conflict in North Asia, for us to have any confidence that we would have the resilient, secure satellite communications that we need. That's the whole rationale for the project. We're not seeing the scale of investment in allies that would indicate there's going to be the sort of spare capacity that would undo all those briefs that the committee has received previously. So I'm struggling to see that this is something that Defence, given the urgency you were placing on this project only 3 months ago, has initiated.